Legendary.
Take it on, bro. I don't hear myself. Come on. Huh? Okay. Yeah.
You are now listening to The Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
Hello.
What's happening? What's up? What's going on? It's The Shaw Report, and I am your host, Damian Banks. Shaw Bears alum and fans rejoice. This is your very own podcast, hosted by moi, Damian S. Banks. You know what time it is, and you know how we do. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at Sports by Damian. That's SportsByDamion. And Shaw University Athletics are also on social media. Follow the Shaw Bears on Twitter at Shaw Bears and on Instagram SU_Bears. We back. After a small hiatus, a brief hiatus, we back. We back like ball fades and number 6 J's. We back like those retro 7s that your mama said you could never have. We in the building. It's the Shaw Report. Another year. Let's get things going. Let's keep the energy up. I want to thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Again, you can find it on shawbears.com. You can find this podcast on iTunes. Search at the Shaw Report. And again, just thank you for the support. Thank you for allowing me to bring you all the news and notes dealing with Shaw University athletics. We've been on a bit of a hiatus. Like I said before, the school year ended. There were no sports going on, so we took a little bit of a hiatus. School is back in session. The fall semester has started. Volleyball is back in action for the new year. We got a new volleyball coach. We'll talk about that a little bit. Also, football season is about to kick off. Let's keep this same energy going every podcast, every week. I missed you guys. I hope you missed me. The Shaw Report, we back. So with that being said, got a lot going on in the world of Shaw University athletics. We have a new volleyball coach at Shaw. We're going to talk about head coach Christina Coleman. Also, football season is about to kick off. Sat down with head coach Adrian Jones as he prepares his men for battle in the upcoming season. That's on this week's episode. We rocking, we rolling. We're going to take this quick commercial break. I'm going to take a sip of this Nature's Place spring water that I got from Food Line. I think it's bottled out of Virginia, but I digress. Let's take this commercial break. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Shaw Report on Spreaker Radio. Hey Shaw Bears fans, refresh your game day with the new and improved real Coca-Cola taste of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. With 0 calories and 0 sugar. It's college sports' newest tradition. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola Zero Sugar and taste the feeling. Coca-Cola, proud sponsor of Shaw University Athletics.
You are now listening to The Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to The Shaw Report. Again, I am your host, Damian Banks. You know what time it is, and you know how we do. Shameless plug for the social media. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sports by Damian. That's SportsByDamion. And Shaw University Athletics are also on social media. On Instagram, it's SU_Bears, and on Twitter, it's at Shaw Bears. Also on Facebook.com/Shaw Bears. Go to ShawBears.com to download this podcast. Download anything you want to know about Shaw University Athletics, scheduling, ticket information. Just go to ShawBears.com. Again, thank you for joining us. This is the official podcast of Shaw University Athletics, and I am your host, Damian Banks of the Shaw Report. Before the break, we broke down a little bit about what's coming up on the show. A little bit later, got an interview with the head coach of the football team, Adrian Jones, as he goes into his 3rd season, preparing the Shaw Bears for their season opener against Hampton University. But before that, Want to just give you some news and notes going on around the athletic department. Biggest news is the head coach of the volleyball as well as the softball team, Daishandra Goree, has left for Kentucky State University. Shaw just hired her replacement, Christina Coleman, who spent last season at Georgetown College in Georgetown, Kentucky. Before that, Coach Coleman was the head coach of Kentucky State. Ironically, Coach Goree left Shaw University for Kentucky State, but while at Kentucky State, Christina Coleman compiled a 71-49 record as well as 2 SIAC tournament titles, so she is a winner. Congratulations and good luck to Coach Coleman as she embarks on the new head coaching position for volleyball as well as softball at Shaw University. Speaking of volleyball, they opened up their season over the weekend in Daytona Beach, Florida at the Embry-Riddle University Tournament. Rough start for the season for the Shaw Bears volleyball team. Dropped a 3-2 decision to Valdosta State on the opening day of the tournament. Also lost a 3-0 match to host Embry-Riddle. Also dropped a match 3-2 to Lynn College and also lost 3-0 to Westminster University out of Utah. Don't fret, Shaw Bears fans. The volleyball team has been very successful the last couple of seasons under Coach Goree. Went 27-5 last year, won the last 2 regular season titles for volleyball as well as a tournament title. So give Coach Coleman some time to adjust to Raleigh. Give the players some time to adjust to Coach Coleman, and I think that they'll be just fine. The volleyball team is next in action August the 31st at UNC Pembroke. For more information, just go to shawbears.com. Moving on in the podcast to our interview, had a chance to sit down with third-year head coach Adrian Jones. We chopped it up for a second. Coach Jones and I go way back to Southern Durham High School when he was a freshman. Actually, excuse me, I'm sorry. I got that all wrong. Coach was a senior. I was a freshman. He was my OG. So we've known each other for so long. Got a lot of good memories with Coach Jones. Well-respected coach within the CIAA. Had a chance to sit down with him. We talked about the upcoming season, the do's and don'ts for student athletes at Shaw University. So let's get into that interview with Coach Jones right now. Welcome back, Shaw Bears fans. You're listening to the Shaw Report. I am Damian Banks, and as promised, I'm sitting next to the head football coach of your Shaw Bears, Coach Adrian Jones. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Coach, in anticipation for the upcoming season, you guys are wrapping up camp, getting ready to implement your game plans for the first game of the season. You're taking a huge leap in competition to start the season off. You're starting off with a familiar face in the Hampton Pirates. How do you guys assess fall camp and how everything went in camp?
Well, the biggest thing, we came out healthy. A lot of guys, we had a couple ankle injuries, but other than that, we've been pretty good. The guys have been focused. Credit to my coaching staff. They've worked very hard. Coach Manigo's our offensive coordinator now, so I can be that CEO now, the head coach, and not have to call plays. And I think that's an advantage to us to make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, so we can dot our I's and cross our T's.
Now, Coach, you are entering a period of the season where expectations are very high. I know for yourself and your coaching staff as well as your players. How do you keep your players on an even keel to take it one practice at a time, one game at a time?
Well, it's all about trusting the process. We got here, we had to change the dynamics of the football team. And, like I said, we always thought that we could change it overnight, and we weren't able to. But, if you know anything about football, that third year is the most important year. And we look forward to winning football games. We just got to trust the process and stick to what we know and just play Shaw football.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as my mama used to tell me every day, nothing in this world worth having comes easy. So with that being said, you are entering your third season. It's a big year for you guys, for your coaching staff, for the Shaw Bears football program. And I've seen on social media, across social media, you got that Under Armour drip now for your uniform. So you guys are out there looking good. Got the classic Shaw look. So like Deion Sanders used to say, you play defensive back, coach. If you look good, you feel good, you play good. So with that being said, moving to the first game of the season with Hampton. Have you guys started to implement any of your game plan yet, or you just trying to make sure that you get everybody acclimated to school? School starting now. These guys are student athletes.
Yeah.
So school starting, classes are beginning, and you're practicing. So how do you balance those two dynamics?
Well, we started implementing a little bit of Hampton. Next week we'll go full go. But the guys as a student athlete, as we say, student first. But you got to know how to manage that time. And what we're trying to do is make sure those guys manage their time, make sure we give them time to do what they're supposed to do in the classroom. If they don't have a 2.5 or better, they have study hall. So we're trying to make sure that we make sure these guys not only perform on the field and win football games, but graduate from Shaw University as well.
Now, you're speaking about student athletes. Now, that's a very important aspect of being in college. You're in college to get your degree. But these guys are athletes. Balancing their time is very key. So at this point in the season, getting ready for the season to start and the first game, what's your guys' schedule like on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, once the season starts, we're off on Mondays. Tuesdays, you go full practice. You got full gear on. Wednesdays, you go to the helmet and shoulder pads. Thursday, helmet and shoulder pads. Friday, either traveling or you're doing a walkthrough, wherever. If you're away, we're doing a walkthrough. If we're home, we're doing a walkthrough. So it becomes a regiment. And then Saturday, you play the game. Sunday, we come back, we get the corrections done, and prepare for the next team. So it's a busy schedule, but the guys are ready for it, and I really expect big things for us this year.
Again, you are listening to the Shaw Report. I am sitting with head football coach Adrian Jones of your Shaw Bears as they prepare for the upcoming season and their opening game versus the Hampton Pirates. Now, Coach, looking at your schedule, very ambitious. You got Hampton, you got Mars Hill, you got Campbell. Your out-of-conference schedule is a beast. So I know you guys are excited. With that being said, the ultimate goal, I know when I played at Virginia State University in the CIAA and Shaw's in the CIAA. So the ultimate goal is to win a conference championship. Do you feel that these non-conference games will get you guys prepared competition-wise to compete at a high level in conference?
It definitely is going to prepare us. We're going to know who we are the first day we step on the field against Hampton University. And as a coach, that's what you want to know, what type of guys you got, who you are before you get in the conference. I think this is going to definitely prepare us for the conference. Not only conference, we're looking even further than that. We're looking for national championships and going deep into the playoffs. I mean, if you don't think outside the box, you're not going to be successful. And a confident coach breeds confident players, and my players believe in it. And if you're in this profession just to win 3 or 4 or 5 games and not set your goals high, you're in for the wrong reason. And we want to do big things here at Shaw University.
Yes, lofty goals, high aspirations from head coach Jones of the Shaw Bears football team. Now, getting into the season, I know I've asked you a little bit about, academics and how do they balance school and how do they balance football. Getting into strictly football, X's and O's. We all know that defense wins championships, but offense sells tickets. I come from a background where you run the ball, control the clock. If you control the clock, you control the game. Offensively, how are you guys looking early on and finishing up fall camp and looking towards the beginning of the season?
Well, the biggest thing is all those guys on the offensive line are back this year. We got every guy that played last year on the offensive line back. We got some transfer running backs by Darrell McClain, Ramon Simpson, who played at North Carolina Central. And it's not just those guys. You have Coleman Blackston, who played a lot last year. You got Tevin Perry. We have Kadeem Bailey. So we got like 6 running backs that, all of them have different things that they can do. But hats goes off to Coach Manigo, Coach Hester, Coach Mike Jones, who's the running back coach, Coach Hester, the wide receiver coach, and Coach Manigo is the quarterback coach, offensive coordinator. They've done a great job of implementing things. You got Marquise Gorham, who's an explosive wide receiver. We got weapons, and when you got weapons and toys like that, it's hard to stop an offense like that.
And Coach, you're showing a lot of love to your assistants, and I know they really appreciate that. So with that being said, the most important position on the team is at the quarterback position. You play quarterback, and you understand the intricacies of the position. How are you guys looking at the most important position on the team this season?
Well, we learned our lesson last year. We had a starter by the name of Darren. He went down at the North Carolina Central game, and Keon Marsh tore some ligaments in his knee, after Darren went down, and we was down to our third and fourth string quarterback last year. So we got a stable of quarterbacks. Keon Marsh got a medical red shirt. He's back. He's battling for the position. You got Vidal Woodruff, who played very well for us last year.